If you live in New York, raise your hands. If you live in New Jersey, raise your hands. Like she is from Connecticut, anybody? Does anybody else live in a different state other than the three that we... No, we're all from. Massachusetts, all right.
State of serenity.
I won't say anything about the Red Sox. I won't say a thing. Y'all got like 26 championships. I wouldn't worry about it. All right, he's from a different. Where y'all from? Hawaii. Chicago? You live in Chicago now? You flew here from Chicago for the show. Okay. Sorry. Where you got Frank and Susie? I don't even know. Susan, where are y'all from? Florida, that's right. Florida. Yeah. All you New Yorkers going down to Florida. Getting all those people down south, you bring the sickness with you, your colds. What's that? Well, in Georgia, okay. So how long have you guys lived in Florida? 12 years, okay. So you miss New York at all? Okay, you come back a lot. All right, awesome. All right, anybody else? Where are you from? I'm sorry? Atlanta, wow. Sorry about snoring so loud. That was some sorry about that. And people from, all right, what about you guys? What's that? Texas? All right. People from, this is amazing. Third Day fans, y'all are, man, buzz me. Are you Keys, where are you? Are you Keys, where are you from? From Brazil.
Colombia!
They flew in from Holland. I don't know whether to give them a huge hug and thank them or to call security on them. After the show, okay. And then somebody else was from Brazil.
Colombia!
You guys are from Brazil? Wow. Now you didn't come just for the Third Day show. You had something else going on. What's that? Long Island, okay. I know, I hear what you're going. From the peanuts, so where are you from? Nigeria. Welcome to the Third Day show. So, last one. Where? Central America. El Salvador, okay. Waited 9 years for this concert. Wow, thank you. And we can right in front of the speakers and you can hear all of it. Man, this next section of right before the song is going to throw me for a loop because there's kind of this common. All right, we'll get to it. There's this kind of common thing that I kind of share, the story that I share before the song every time we do it. But I'll kind of begin by saying, in I think around June or something of last year, we were almost done, somewhere in there, summertime of last year. We were making the new album, the Miracle album. We were almost done with the record. And bless you. We were almost done with the record. And we went and we played in New Jersey at, was it Six Flags or? And this is when we cross the U.S. and we share this story, I ask almost every night, not every night, but almost every night, I say, we did this show in New Jersey, and I say, is anybody here from New Jersey? And usually there's one or two people at least. And I go to everybody else, I go, y'all know people from New Jersey are crazy, right? Because we all watch reality TV, it's just like that. But I tell people the story, and I tell them how much we just, honestly, we have a great time at that show at Six Flags. We've played it probably 3 times or so, and every time we go, it's loud, and people are so excited that we're there, and we just love playing there. I hope y'all have us back in Jersey. But so there was a couple that we met there last year, and their names were Mike and Heidi, and they shared a story with us. And it was just totally a God thing of how, we had a friend there and his parents were there, and then they met our friend's parents, and they said, hey, if there's any way we could get backstage and share the story. And so they ended up backstage, and right before I was about to call security on them, I'm just kidding. They said, is there any way we share the story? We said, sure. And I'm not going to go through the whole story tonight, but I'm sure that I've forgotten a lot of details and missed things, but they told us the story of their son. The son is Mark, and he was, I assume, I've met him once, I assume he was kind of in his early 20s, and he had, a few years back, been dealing with some depression, really bad. And as they're telling us the story, they said a few years back he had decided he was going to end his life. And so he gets in his car and he drives off by himself, and he gets to a place where he's, away from everybody. He's in a place where he thinks nobody can find him. He's going to end his life. And right before he dies, so if I'm remembering this wrong, they can correct me later. If I'm remembering it correctly, he brought a CD of his favorite band to listen to, and he put it in, the CD player was broken. And so he turns the radio on, and he tries unsuccessfully to find anything on the radio. But then all of a sudden, he finds one station that just comes through as clear as a bell. And wouldn't you know it, it's a Christian music station. And as he finds the station, he hears the words that we all sang just a few minutes ago of the song Cry Out to Jesus. The words that say that there's hope for the helpless, there's rest for the weary, there's love for the broken heart, there's grace and forgiveness and mercy and healing. He will meet you wherever you are. Cry out to Jesus. And in that car by himself, Mark, hearing those words, he prayed and he asked God to forgive him and save him, and to change his life. He decided right then and there not to end his life. Now, just like with so many of us, there's still things that Mark struggles with, still things that he goes through, just like every one of us. But he knows, he's heard the truth of the gospel. That scripture that we just shared, that all of us here now know, if you've been listening at all, that there's a great love that our Father has for every single one of us. You look throughout the Old Testament and the New Testament, continuously talking about the things that God has done to get to you, the things that God has done to be able to save you and to prove his love. Another one of my favorite scriptures says, he has proven his love for us in this, that while we were still sinners, Christ Jesus died for us. He didn't die for us because he thought we were going to be these great men and women of God. He didn't die for us so that we could turn into the Billy Grahams and the Mother Teresas of the world. If that happens, awesome. But he gave his life for us because he was being faithful to the Father. Two, because Jesus has this mighty love for you. He'd do anything to be with you. And that's the only way we can be together. Because we're never going to earn our way to heaven. We're never going to be good enough. We're never going to go to church enough. We're never going to pray enough or give enough money to charity. Those are great things. Those are things as believers we ought to do. Those things, don't get me wrong, those things will never save us, ever. So tonight I thank God for his grace, his mercy.